In the heart of the galaxy, a new player rises, a species once underestimated, now ready to rewrite the rules of war. As the Dren Dominion's forces march toward humanity's doorstep, they face a challenge like no other. Unpredictable, relentless, and fiercely independent, humanity's resolve is tested in a battle where survival is not just a goal, but a message. Will the galaxy's old powers underestimate humanity once again? Or will they learn that pushing humans too far comes with a price they cannot afford? The storm is brewing. Prepare for a conflict that will reshape the fate of the stars. The Galactic Council's chamber is described as a majestic and awe-inspiring structure designed to reflect the vastness and diversity of the galaxy. The chamber features a dome-shaped ceiling, which is not just a design element, but a source of wonder as it displays holographic constellations. These holograms shimmer with a luminous beauty, representing the countless stars and celestial bodies that span the galaxy. As the chamber is filled with representatives from various species, the visual spectacle of the constellations creates an atmosphere of reverence and grandeur. Delegates from hundreds of different species sit in tiers, their unique forms and appearances illuminated by soft background lights. This creates an ethereal effect, where each species appears almost otherworldly, reflecting their cultural and biological diversity. The scene is not just one of political discourse, but of cultural expression, where the delegates' forms, some humanoid, some alien, contrast with each other and with the glowing stars above them. The gentle illumination highlights their distinct features, adding to the solemnity of the occasion. At the center of the chamber stands Elder Malx, a figure of authority and wisdom among the delegates. Malx, an older being with emerald green scaled skin, embodies calmness and vigilance. His presence is imposing, though he does not speak with aggression. He stands passively at the center of the circular dais, a position of significant importance. As one of the few who has communicated directly with humanity, Malx has firsthand knowledge of their nature and history. His voice carries the weight of that experience, along with the burden of responsibility for representing humanity's interests. His role as a mediator between humanity and the broader galactic community is made clear by the way he commands attention, with all eyes in the chamber turning toward him as he prepares to speak. The heavy silence that falls over the room reflects the seriousness of the debate that is about to unfold. As Elder Malx begins to speak, he does so with the authority and gravitas of someone who has seen the consequences of misunderstanding humanity's potential. He warns the Council that humanity is not a species to be underestimated, emphasizing that their involvement in galactic wars would be a folly. The reverberating sound of his booming voice commands respect, and his words immediately silence even the loudest factions in the room. The message is clear. Humanity is not like other species, and their role in galactic affairs is far more complex than some of the more militaristic factions are willing to acknowledge. As Elder Malx speaks about humanity's unique nature and history, his words are met with skepticism and even outright dismissal from some of the delegates, highlighting the division in the Council over how to approach the human species. One of the loudest voices of dissent comes from Kavik, a representative from a warlike species, whose appearance is as aggressive as his stance. Kavik is described as being clad in crimson armor, which not only symbolizes his species' militaristic tendencies, but also serves as a visual manifestation of his hostility and pride. His attire, shining and bold, contrasts sharply with the serene ambience of the council chamber, indicating his combative and antagonistic nature. Kavik's lean forward during the debate, catching the light, signifies his eagerness to challenge Malx's assertions. Kavik interrupts Elder Malx's explanation by dismissing humanity as a primitive species that is still new to the galactic stage. His view of humanity is one of disdain, perceiving them as weak or unworthy of serious consideration within the broader interstellar community. He mocks humanity's neutral stance in galactic conflicts, suggesting that their refusal to take sides is an act of cowardice rather than a strategic decision. This perspective reveals the arrogance and tunnel vision that often accompanies a species with a long history of dominance and conquest. Kavik fails to grasp that neutrality might not be a sign of weakness, but rather an indication of strength and an alternative form of wisdom, one that recognizes the dangers of taking unnecessary sides in a galaxy rife with conflict. Elder Malx, however, does not waver under the harsh criticism. He responds to Kavik with a measured yet firm tone, reminding the Council that humanity's lack of aggression should not be mistaken for passivity or vulnerability. Malx's assertion that humanity has faced near extinction multiple times in its history is a key part of his argument. Unlike other species, humanity has had to endure tremendous hardships, and their ability to adapt and innovate in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds has allowed them to survive. The resilience that humanity demonstrates, according to Malx, is not to be underestimated. It is through this enduring spirit, this remarkable ability to fight back when cornered, that humanity has proven itself to be a force to be reckoned with, even if they do not flaunt their strength through constant aggression. In making this argument, Malx paints a picture of humanity as a species that does not rely on brute force or conquest, but instead on their resourcefulness, intelligence, and sheer determination. This rebuttal is designed to disarm the more aggressive factions in the Council, suggesting that their understanding of power and strength may be narrow. Malx's words emphasize that the true nature of humanity is one of survival, innovation, and a ferocity that emerges only when absolutely necessary, qualities that make them a much more complex and unpredictable species than Kavik's simplistic view would allow. General Threx, a rising star within the Dren Dominion, adds another layer of complexity to the debate with his response to Elder Malx's defense of humanity. Unlike Kavik, who is driven by brash aggression and disdain for humanity, Threx's approach is more calculated and strategic. He represents the growing faction within the Dren Dominion that believes in not just brute force, but also in the potential to dominate weaker species, such as humanity, through careful manipulation and measured conflict. Threx's attitude is more tempered than Kavik's, but it is equally dangerous because it's laced with ambition and a thirst for power. Threx's suggestion that humanity's supposed strength could be a stepping stone to greater dominance reflects a strategic mindset that is both ambitious and opportunistic. In his view, humanity's supposed neutrality in galactic affairs could be seen as an opening, a weakness that the Dren could exploit. Threx's remark that humanity's reluctance to choose a side is indicative of their inherent fear or hesitancy exposes his belief that they are not willing to challenge established powers. However, beneath his mocking tone, Threx subtly admits that humanity's very refusal to align with any faction could make them an unpredictable and difficult entity to confront. For Threx, it is this unpredictability that presents both a challenge and an opportunity for the Dren Dominion. In his calm yet calculated manner, Threx pushes the argument that the Dren Dominion could strategically force humanity's hand, making them a participant in galactic conflicts. He views this as an opportunity for the Dren to prove their superiority by drawing humanity into a war where the Dren would exert their power. Threx's thought process is one of superiority complex. He believes that with the right amount of pressure, humanity would ultimately be forced to pick a side or be crushed under the weight of galactic warfare. To him, humanity's survival instincts would be irrelevant because, in his mind, no species can survive indefinitely without aligning with a major galactic power or taking a stance in galactic politics. Elder Malx responds to Threx with quiet but firm resolve, knowing that such a view reveals the Dren Dominion's misunderstanding of humanity's true strength. Threx's tactical approach to humanity is rooted in the assumption that they can be easily manipulated or coerced into war, but Malx knows that humanity's value lies in their ability to resist, adapt, and persist through adversity. Malx's warning about humanity's endurance highlights that while the Dren Dominion may view the situation as a matter of conquest and power, humanity's greatest strength may very well lie in their unwillingness to be easily manipulated or controlled. This clash between Threx's strategic ambition and Malx's understanding of humanity's resilience sets the stage for the high-stakes conflict that is about to unfold in the galaxy. As the debate on humanity's place in the galaxy continues, Elder Malx's response to Threx's provocations underscores a significant shift in the conversation. Malx remains resolute in his defense of humanity, pushing back against the Dren Dominion's misconceptions. He articulates that humanity's strength lies not just in their ability to fight, but in their remarkable ability to endure against overwhelming odds. This sentiment is rooted in humanity's history of surviving multiple near extinctions, a trait that is not common among the galaxy's other species. While many in the Council, like Threx, view humanity's neutrality as a potential weakness or even an act of cowardice, Malx sees it as a survival tactic, one born from the brutal lessons of history, where conquest and aggression did not always guarantee survival. Humanity's unwillingness to align with any faction or take sides in the galactic conflicts is not a sign of cowardice, as suggested by Threx, but a hard-earned understanding that survival is not always found in military dominance or territorial control. Unlike the more established species in the galaxy, humanity has learned through bloodshed and ruin that sometimes endurance, finding ways to adapt to new and dangerous circumstances, is the only way to persist. Malx points to humanity's unique ability to innovate in the face of adversity, an adaptability that has allowed them to overcome impossible challenges in their past. This ability to constantly evolve, whether through technological advancements or sheer willpower, makes humanity a formidable opponent, even if they do not engage in the same manner as more aggressive species. Malx's words imply that humanity's true strength is not in their military might alone, but in their resilience. The galaxy may underestimate humanity due to their relatively young status in galactic affairs, but Malx knows that if pushed to the brink, humanity's ability to survive and thrive in hostile environments could outmatch even the most powerful forces in the galaxy. This resilience, however, is not always visible on the surface. Humanity's neutrality, therefore, is a strategic decision, not one born out of fear or weakness, but a recognition that peace is a better path for long-term survival than constantly engaging in conflict. Malx's warning to the Council is clear. Do not mistake humanity's cautious stance for inaction, for they are capable of far more than many believe. The Council's reaction to Malx's argument is a mix of skepticism and curiosity. The mention of humanity's history of surviving near annihilation sparks an underlying fear among some of the delegates, as they begin to understand the true depth of the species they are dealing with. While some may still view humanity as a minor species, Malx has succeeded in planting a seed of doubt about their initial assessment. His words challenge the assumption that humanity is simply a primitive species, unfit for the galactic stage. Instead, they provoke a shift in perspective, suggesting that humanity's survival instincts and their ability to adapt make them a potentially significant force in the galaxy, one that cannot be easily ignored or underestimated. In a way, Malx's defense of humanity is a call for caution. He warns the Council that humanity's involvement in galactic conflicts could lead to consequences that no one, not even the Dren Dominion, can fully predict. His warning highlights that humanity's resilience is not just about surviving a single war or battle. It is about how they can recover, rebuild, and grow stronger after facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. For the Galactic Council, this raises the uncomfortable question. Is humanity a force that can be controlled, or will they prove to be an unpredictable, unyielding power that reshapes the galaxy in ways no one can foresee? Malx's understanding of humanity is based on deep respect for their potential, a respect that the other delegates are only beginning to grasp. The conflict between the Dren Dominion, represented by General Threx, and humanity. As tensions rise, Threx, a strategic figure in the Dren Dominion, challenges the validity of Malx's defense of humanity by framing humanity's refusal to take sides in the galactic conflicts as a weakness. Threx's perspective is rooted in the conventional thinking of the galaxy's older and more powerful factions, who view aggression and territorial conquest as the primary means of establishing dominance. In Threx's view, a species that does not assert itself in this way is either unwilling or incapable of achieving greatness. He mocks humanity's neutral stance, calling it an act of cowardice, and implies that their reluctance to engage in the galactic power struggle suggests they lack the ambition necessary to assert their place in the galaxy. However, Malx remains firm in his stance, refusing to concede to the idea that humanity's survival strategy is a weakness. Rather, he points out that humanity's neutrality is a conscious, deliberate decision based on hard-earned lessons. Humanity, unlike the Dren Dominion and many other galactic factions, has learned through a history of suffering, loss, and survival that military conquest is not the only path to strength. Malx highlights humanity's ability to endure, adapt, and innovate even in the face of extinction-level events. The implication is that humanity has survived not through sheer force, but through resilience, an ability to grow stronger from adversity. This makes humanity different from the more established galactic powers, who may rely more on aggressive strategies and expansionism, but lack the same level of tenacity when faced with overwhelming odds. As the debate continues, the contrast between Malx's understanding of humanity's nature and Threx's aggressive ambition becomes even more pronounced. While Threx continues to view humanity's neutrality as a sign of weakness, Malx emphasizes that it is a calculated choice born out of the understanding that survival often requires patience and endurance rather than immediate domination. The younger species of the galaxy, like the Dren, are often quick to seek power and control, but humanity's unique experiences have shaped them into a species that values survival over conquest. This philosophical difference in approach to galactic involvement reflects the broader divide between the traditional military strategies of the old powers and humanity's more nuanced, survival-focused worldview. Threx's mocking of humanity's refusal to take sides further underscores the tension between him and Malx, as Threx is more focused on immediate actions and victories that will bring the Dren Dominion closer to its goals of galactic dominance. Threx's confidence in his power and the might of the Dren Dominion blinds him to the complexities of humanity. His dismissive attitude towards their apparent neutrality reveals a lack of understanding of the core of humanity's strength, their ability to adapt and overcome through endurance. This attitude positions humanity as a species that is more unpredictable and resourceful than Threx anticipates, which may prove to be a costly underestimation later in the story. Ultimately, this point underscores the difference in strategic thinking between Threx and Malx, highlighting the stakes of the larger galactic conflict. Threx sees the galaxy in terms of power struggles and dominance, where the strong rule and the weak must fall in line. In contrast, Malx recognizes that humanity's path is not as straightforward, but is marked by resilience, intelligence, and adaptability, qualities that may turn the tide of any galactic struggle if the right conditions arise. This philosophical clash between the two figures sets the stage for the larger drama to unfold, as their opposing viewpoints on humanity's role will shape the coming events. While Threx is blinded by his ambition, Malx's wisdom reflects a deeper understanding of the unique potential that humanity brings to the galaxy. The escalating conflict between humanity and the Dren Dominion, and the critical moment when humanity demonstrates its resilience and military readiness. The narrative shifts to a private conversation between Elder Malx and a young council aide, who reveals troubling information about the Dren Dominion's intentions. The aide informs Malx that General Threx's delegation is planning an unauthorized attack on a human outpost, specifically targeting Haven Prime, a strategically important human colony. This revelation significantly raises the stakes, signaling that the Dren Dominion, led by the ambitious Threx, is willing to disregard the formalities of galactic diplomacy in order to provoke a direct confrontation with humanity. Threx's intention to strike a blow against humanity, in his eyes, will expose humanity's inferiority, thus further solidifying the Dominion's power and sending a message to the galaxy. Malx's reaction to this news is swift and filled with fury, emphasizing the grave nature of the Dren's miscalculation. His emerald scales darken with anger, signaling the deep threat that Threx's reckless actions pose. Malx knows that humanity, despite its relatively smaller presence in the galaxy, has proven time and again that it is not a species that can be easily subdued or defeated. The audacity of the Dren's planned attack on Haven Prime represents a dangerous gamble, one that could awaken a fury in humanity that the Dren may not be prepared for. Malx's warning to the aide reflects the seriousness of the situation. The Dren have underestimated humanity's capacity for resistance and survival. Malx understands that if the Dren push too far, they may ignite a storm of consequences that could have repercussions beyond their control. His words, "They will awaken a storm they cannot control," foreshadow the inevitable shift in power dynamics, as humanity prepares to defend itself in the face of this unprovoked aggression. As the Dren fleet prepares for the assault, the tension builds, and the narrative shifts to the command deck of the Dren flagship, the Hawkeye. General Threx, fueled by his desire for dominance, is certain that humanity will be unable to mount a serious defense. His confidence is driven by the assumption that the humans are a minor species still new to the galactic stage, and that their lack of experience in interstellar warfare will make them an easy target. Threx's mind is set on the quick and decisive destruction of Haven Prime, an action he believes will expose humanity's vulnerabilities and crush any lingering doubts about the Dren Dominion's superiority. As the Hawkeye jumps to hyperspace, Threx anticipates a swift victory, one that will mark a significant step in his ambitions to assert Dren dominance over the galaxy. His focus is laser-sharp, blind to the possibility that his overconfidence could be humanity's undoing, or perhaps the exact spark needed for humanity to rise up. Meanwhile, on Haven Prime, the human defense forces, led by Captain Marcus Drake, are already preparing for the worst. The human military, often underestimated by the larger galactic powers, demonstrates its readiness and ingenuity. Drake and his team are aware that the Dren fleet is on its way, and they have no illusions about the strength of their enemy. However, what they lack in sheer numbers and firepower, they make up for in strategy, preparation, and innovation. As the Dren fleet arrives and begins its bombardment of Haven Prime, humanity's defenses, including the experimental Artemis Grid, quickly come online. The Artemis Grid, a cutting-edge defense system, is a technological marvel combining AI and traditional artillery. Its automated turrets intercept incoming fire with remarkable precision, a surprising display of human technological advancement that catches the Dren off guard. Though the Dren's plasma fire rocks the human outpost and causes damage, the resilience of humanity's defenses and their ability to adapt to the threat show that humanity is far from defenseless. The battle turns into a brutal exchange, with humanity not simply defending itself, but retaliating with surprising force. Missiles, kinetic rounds, and strategic counterattacks show that humanity's resolve is not as easily broken as Threx might have assumed. The Dren fleet, initially confident in their superiority, begins to suffer significant losses, particularly when they deploy their Vanguard fighter craft in an attempt to overwhelm the human defenses. The anti-air defenses of Haven Prime light up the skies, and many of the Dren's sleek fighters are reduced to flaming wreckage. Threx's frustration grows as he watches the tables begin to turn, realizing that humanity has far more bite than he initially expected. His tactical superiority begins to crumble in the face of humanity's unyielding spirit and advanced technology. This point represents a critical moment in the narrative, where the Dren Dominion's overconfidence and underestimation of humanity's resilience lead to a shift in the battle. The conflict between the two factions escalates into a display of strength and ingenuity, with humanity using its innovative defenses and adaptive military tactics to not only survive, but push back against the Dren's initial assault. The Dren fleet, while formidable, is caught off guard by humanity's capabilities, and the battle takes on a new dimension as humanity proves it is not a species to be underestimated. The Dren, particularly General Threx, begin to understand that humanity's true strength lies not just in its firepower, but in its relentless will to survive, adapt, and fight back when cornered. The aftermath of the Dren Dominion's unprovoked attack on Haven Prime, highlighting how humanity's resolve is put to the test and the strategic steps taken to send a strong message to the Dominion. Following the Dren fleet's failed assault, the human response intensifies, with Admiral Ethan Cole taking a central role in the narrative. The Dren Dominion's initial bombardment of Haven Prime was a clear attempt to provoke and weaken humanity, But the unexpected resilience and strategic defenses of the humans turned the tide, demonstrating that they were far more capable than the Dominion had anticipated. In this point, the story shifts to the command center of the human fleet, where Admiral Cole, calm and collected, is overseeing the next phase of humanity's response. Having already seen the results of the failed Dren attack on Haven Prime, he understands that the Dominion's actions have escalated the situation beyond the point of mere defense. Humanity is now on the offensive, but rather than seeking to escalate the conflict further, Cole takes a measured approach. He is determined to avoid a full-scale war, but knows that a clear demonstration of strength is necessary to show the Dren Dominion that humanity will not be easily intimidated. One of the key strategies that Cole decides upon is a surgical strike on a critical Dominion outpost, Cryos. This decision underscores the intelligence and careful calculation that define human military strategy. Cryos, a logistical hub crucial to the Dren Dominion's operations, is lightly defended, making it an ideal target to send a strong message. The human fleet, including its elite squadron of Raven-class fighters, is prepared to strike with precision, avoiding unnecessary damage while achieving their goal. This tactic shows that humanity can project power without going overboard, emphasizing that they do not seek to instigate a broader war, but will decisively respond to any further aggression. The humans are not looking to destroy the Dominion's infrastructure outright, but to show that they are willing and able to inflict substantial damage if necessary. As Cole orders the attack, the Raven-class fighters launch from the belly of the human flagship, the Roar. These fighters, known for their stealth and speed, embody the precision and technological ingenuity that humanity is capable of. They descend upon Cryos like shadows, overwhelming the outpost's defenses with rapid and coordinated strikes. The automated turrets and defensive grids of the outpost are quickly neutralized, showcasing the effectiveness of human tactics and technology. The Raven's attack is so swift and effective that by the time the Dominion realizes what is happening, much of Cryos' defense has already been dismantled. This swift victory demonstrates that humanity has the ability to carry out complex military operations and achieve results with minimal resources, a stark contrast to the initial arrogance of the Dren Dominion. The success of this strike is crucial for several reasons. It reaffirms humanity's strength and determination while signaling to the Dren Dominion that any future aggression will come with serious consequences. At the same time, Cole's approach shows that humanity is not seeking total destruction or conquest, but instead is focused on defending its sovereignty and sending a clear message. The Dren, particularly those like General Threx, may have underestimated humanity's resolve, but the strike on Cryos forces them to confront a painful reality. Humanity is not a species that can be easily crushed or dismissed. The narrative also touches on the broader geopolitical implications of humanity's actions. In the eyes of the galactic community, the strike on Cryos will be seen as a critical moment. The Dren may attempt to claim that the strike was an isolated incident or the work of rogue elements within their ranks, but the humans are not fooled by such claims. Admiral Cole, while not directly confronting the Dominion with overwhelming force, uses the precision strike to make a clear point. Humanity will no longer remain passive or neutral in the face of threats. The Dominion's denial of involvement in the attack on Haven Prime is exposed as a mere cover-up, further eroding their credibility. This point culminates in the larger narrative arc of humanity, proving its strength, resilience, and ability to respond to threats with precision and effectiveness. The Dren Dominion, still reeling from its failed assault on Haven Prime, now faces a new challenge. A human species that is not only capable of survival, but is willing to fight back strategically, sending a powerful message to anyone who doubts their resolve. The conflict has escalated to a point where both sides are locked in a deadly game of strategy, with humanity now stepping out of the shadows as a force to be reckoned with. The tension that unfolds after the strike on the Dominion outpost Cryos, and how Admiral Ethan Cole's calculated actions shape the future of the conflict between humanity and the Dren Dominion. This point is crucial because it demonstrates humanity's ability to wield power strategically and avoid full-scale war, while also underscoring the consequences of underestimating humanity's resilience. The first aspect of this point focuses on the aftermath of the strike on Cryos. Humanity's precision attack has successfully neutralized the outpost, sending a clear message to the Dren Dominion. The strategic targeting of this lightly defended logistical hub reinforces the point that humanity doesn't need to engage in large-scale battles to assert its strength. Rather, it shows that humanity can inflict targeted damage that will disrupt the Dren's operations without engaging in reckless warfare. Admiral Cole's decision to minimize unnecessary destruction while still achieving military objectives reflects a sophisticated understanding of how to maintain control over the situation. This strike is a demonstration of humanity's technological prowess, military discipline, and tactical acumen, which is not lost on the Dren Dominion or the wider galaxy. However, despite the success of the mission, the underlying tension in the narrative grows as humanity faces the political and strategic repercussions of its actions. The Dren Dominion, particularly its hardliners like General Threx, is left to grapple with the human response. The Dren's initial attempt to deny their involvement in the attack on Haven Prime, now seen as a cover-up, forces them to reconsider their position. The Dren must face the reality that humanity has the ability to retaliate decisively, and their previous assumptions of human weakness now crumble. Threx's earlier arrogance about underestimating humanity's capabilities is shattered as the Dominion now faces a more formidable foe than anticipated. This leads to a pivotal moment where the Dominion is forced to reassess its strategy. The sudden appearance of Admiral Cole on the tactical screens of Dominion officers is another psychological blow, as it signals that humanity is ready for further confrontation if needed. Cole's message is clear. Humanity will not back down from aggression and will respond to each provocation with precision. He embodies the calculated, no-nonsense approach to warfare that defines humanity's strategy moving forward. The political ramifications of the strike on Cryos also become evident, as the Dominion must now consider the broader impact of their actions. Admiral Cole's threat is not just a military one, but a diplomatic one as well. The human fleet's message is one of power and resilience, but it also carries the weight of the broader strategic calculus that comes with being a significant power in the galaxy. Cole's warning, when broadcasted to the Dominion's commanders, clearly communicates the consequences of their actions. Humanity is not a species to be trifled with. The notion of humanity being a minor species or an easy target is quickly dispelled, as the Dominion must now factor in the human will to survive, adapt, and strike back. In this point, there is a strong theme of survival, not just in a military sense but also politically and culturally. Humanity's actions on Cryos reflect not just military strategy, but the survival instinct that has defined human history. The galaxy's perception of humanity shifts as the species is no longer seen as a neutral party or a passive participant in galactic politics. Instead, humanity is now firmly established as a force to be reckoned with, one that will engage in combat if necessary, but also seeks to avoid the full scale of galactic war through measured and effective responses. Admiral Cole's leadership also plays a central role in defining the human stance moving forward. His cool, calculated demeanor is contrasted with the more impulsive actions of the Dren, highlighting the difference in approach. Where the Dren may act out of pride, aggression, or arrogance, humanity is more pragmatic, recognizing the cost of war and choosing their battles with precision. This distinction between the two sides becomes crucial as the larger conflict continues to unfold, with humanity consistently demonstrating that it will fight when necessary, but always on their own terms. Finally, this point underscores the growing realization that the Dren Dominion is in a precarious position. As they scramble to recover from their failed assault on Haven Prime and the loss of Cryos, their internal politics and military strategy are called into question. The human response, marked by precision, intelligence, and a calculated show of strength, makes it clear that the Dren must now reconsider their tactics. The uncertainty surrounding their next move introduces a new layer of suspense and drama to the ongoing conflict, raising the stakes for both sides. Humanity, it seems, has turned the tide of the conflict in its favor, not by overwhelming force, but through strength of will, strategic thinking, and the resolve to never back down.